No, you didn't. Let me get your name and badge number. Say it right here. Name and badge number. Let me get your name and badge number, officer.
48, please tell me.
Name and badge number.
Officer Pansing, badge 20.
Thank you very much. So let's call state police out and your supervisor. Call your supervisor out.
I got one coming.
Okay, not a problem. I know my rights, and I know that you're just now violating them. I know exactly what we're going to do from there. I know exactly what we're going to do from there. So until your supervisor gets here, you and I have no reason for any kind of dialogue.
So you're not going to give me your license?
No, sir. This is not a traffic stop.
Mm-hmm.
The traffic stop means if a vehicle is moving. Me sitting in a parking spot where I'm illegally allowed to park, you have zero right to come up here and try to question me whatsoever. You have zero right. None do you have. So when your supervisor gets here, then he and I will have a conversation. As of right now, you and I, we don't have anything to say. And if you touch me, then I'm going to sue your department. Okay. I'm just long as we're clear on all of that.
Mm-hmm.
You have zero reason to stop me whatsoever because I was not moving. The vehicle was not even on. I'm sitting here minding my own business. So you want to harass a black man is what you want to do. That's what you want. That's exactly. I have legal right to be here.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have any legal right to come and question me about anything. None do you have. And you're not going to violate my rights.
I'm not able to follow up on complaints.
No. Let me tell you what you're able to do.
Mm-hmm.
You come out here and you can say, "Well, we got this kind of call,"
Mm-hmm.
and I can say, "I'm not broken. I haven't broken any law. You don't have any. This is not a stop and frisk state or a stop and ID state, and you don't have a right to ask me for any kind of identification whatsoever."
But I don't have a right to follow up on a complaint.
Yeah, you have a right to follow up on a complaint, but you don't have any right or right whatsoever to try to question me. You don't have that right. You don't have that right, and you're not going to sit here and try to strong arm me like you do. You don't. I told you, I identified myself as former law enforcement. I identified myself, and you still want to question me? I don't have to provide you with my name. I haven't broken any law. So please quote me the Michigan statute where I have to ID myself to you, and there's been no crime committed, or no, I'm not even suspected of committing a crime. And then you have to articulate what the crime that is. So I don't have to identify myself, nor will I identify myself. Here's the second unit that's coming up. Are you a supervisor, sir?
Nope.
All right, I'll wait for a supervisor. This officer came up violating my rights. Wait, first off.
Officer Brian?
Yep.
Huh? You read the call?
Not too close.
Suspicious?
Yeah, I've been here for this. Yeah.
So.
What's up, man? You working today, or?
Yeah, I'm working today, but we're going to file a complaint on this officer.
For what?
He has zero right to come and try to.
Called you in.
No, it doesn't make any difference. The man walked. I'm sitting here. I'm in a marked vehicle with my company name and information on it. My vehicle was not moving. Then he tried to say that this was a traffic stop. I'm former law enforcement myself, and I identified him as that right from the very beginning. He has zero right to question me whatsoever. I'm not suspected of a crime. I didn't even get out of my car. I have legal right to be here. I have a legal right to be here. I don't have to answer any questions.
That makes it suspicious.
Well, it doesn't make any difference what your perception is. What goes by with the law.
It really doesn't make any difference what your perception is.
No. I state what the law is, and this is what the law says. The law states this.
What's it state?
You want me to look it up for you? I'd be more than happy to look it up for you. This is not a stop and ID state.
Well, if he said you're on a traffic stop, you have to ID it.
If the vehicle was moving, then he can call it a traffic stop. My car was sitting here with not even running.
So what's the problem?
The problem is this. I'm sick and tired of Caucasian police officers harassing. No, not oh my God. You're not a black man. You don't have to go through this every freaking day. You don't.
Well,
I do.
For 17 years.
And I've been. And guess what?
Never done anything to a black man.
But that's you. You don't. Wait a second. Wait a second. Wait a second.
He's not racist at all.
I didn't say racist. But why am I suspicious?
You know this lady few months ago had her house broken into.
Am I suspected in that crime?
Maybe.
Okay, so you're suspecting me of breaking into some lady's house?
Let me-
Wait a second.
let me
I have
finish.
a, okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
So somebody broke in there, beat her up,
Okay,
robbed her,
okay.
a black male with a mask, and he was driving a black car.
Yeah, right. Show me, what's that complaint number so I can
was
look that up?
first on, so
Okay, and I'm going to have that. So since it was a black male wearing a mask, how are you going to connect that to me?
I'm not going to.
But
listen. let me
okay,
finish
go ahead.
talking.
All right, go ahead.
So she's got a black car with a black male sitting in front of her house, and you won't say why.
No.
Would you understand if you were 71 years old? Maybe have the police check on it.
No, because let me tell you,
She
that
got beat up and robbed.
I don't care. That it has nothing to do with me.
What has something to do with her?
It doesn't have anything to. As a
This is
matter,
your neighborhood.
it doesn't make any difference. I got business at this house.
This house?
Yes, Mrs. Roy. That's exactly. So you want to sit here and tell me that this lady got beat up by a masked black guy, that you were the first officer on scene?
Absolutely.
And then, okay, well, if that's the case, then go find that person. Stop harassing me.
I'm not harassing.
Oh, absolutely. Your very presence is
asking you what you're doing.
your very presence is harassing me. I do not have to tell you anything about what it is I'm
Then
doing
don't.
here. Okay, which I'm not.
But you have to identify yourself.
Absolutely, I don't. What law am I? What law do you suspect me of breaking?
Nothing.
Okay, that I don't have to identify myself to you. That's what
Why
the law.
wouldn't you, though?
That's because.
Why wouldn't you?
Let me tell you why wouldn't I? I was a police officer. I know I don't have to. You don't get to
You
violate
must
my
have been a
rights.
Really bad police
Oh,
officer.
well, guess what? I've served longer than you, and I know. And
I doubt it.
oh yeah, absolutely. And I'm much older than you.
I believe that.
Okay then. So
As a former police officer, wouldn't you say, "Hey, I'm not up to anything bad. Here's my identification, and
No.
this is what I'm doing"?
let me tell you something. You can run that game all you want to. This is what I know. I know what the law states what I must
Who cares
do.
what the law is?
You who cares? That's what the law says. You're sworn. You took an oath to uphold the Constitution of the United States and the state of Michigan. That's what you took an oath to. So you have to care about what the law says. So, officer, what's your name and badge number?
My name's Brian Gus, badge number 9.
Okay, so you're telling me, Mr.
My
Gus,
point is, why wouldn't you just tell somebody, "This is my name, this is what I'm doing"?
because of the fact that I don't have to. If I'm required to, no
So I
problem.
don't have to be respectful to any adult or law enforcement or teacher because I don't have. That's not the law.
Excuse
so I'm
me.
going to be a jerk.
Wait a second. I can be whomever it is I choose to be.
That's fine.
Okay, I can be whomever it is I choose to be. That is my right to be that.
Right.
Just like it is your
can be a
right.
jerk.
Okay, so
You can
just like
exercise your right to be a
okay,
jerk.
and you can exercise your right to be one too.
Yeah, maybe I will at some point. But
Okay,
so
so
far,
okay,
trying to
so
get a problem solved.
okay, yeah, so
Just
so
trying to
we're gonna wait for your supervisor to get
He's
here.
gonna say anything.
It doesn't make any difference what he says. He still has to follow what the law says.
Me and this officer are too.
Okay, but you're not.
What am I doing that's breaking the law?
Because when I tell you that I'm not answering any of your questions, all conversation ceases as your supervisor gets here. You're still
I'm not
staying.
under arrest.
I know I'm not, and I know that. I know I don't have
Then
to.
leave.
No, I don't. Just as I'm free to leave, I'm free to stay.
Yeah, so what?
Okay, so
Not holding you.
oh no, right. So our conversation is done.
Yeah, don't talk no more.
Okay, no, not a problem.
I mean,
Not a problem.
I'm not
Well, let's
doing
wait for your. Let's wait for. See, you're wasting 10 minutes of my time. I charge $125 an hour for my time.
what do you do?
It's on the door.
You can just tell me instead of being
Oh well, you know,
Mortgage Field Services. What's that?
there's a number of things that we do.
Ooh, what is it? Maybe I need something.
We do home repairs, basically, primarily on foreclosed properties.
Okay.
But at this particular house, I have business here, which I got a 2:00 appointment with this lady. So therefore, you guys are harassing me at this point, and we're going to call a spade a spade.
Somebody called it in.
It does. I know it's not somebody. It's the lawn care guys that was sitting there right there because I've been sitting here watching them cut the grass. So it was. No, I'm not mad at anybody. But let me tell you what's not going to happen. I'm not going to have somebody try to strong arm me. If you wanted me to give you the respect to listen to what you had to say earlier, correct? And I gave you that respect. So give me that same respect. This officer walks up and knocks on my window. He doesn't have a right to knock up on my window, but he's investigating a complaint. I have no issues with that. He knocks on my window. I ask him what the problem is. He asks me what am I doing. I'm sitting. I'm legally parked. I'm legally sitting. I haven't violated any laws whatsoever. And based on that alone, he has zero right to question me. None.
Question you. You
Oh,
just
yeah,
don't have to answer.
No, he has zero right to question me.
Well, he can
Okay,
question
okay,
anybody
well, okay, well, I told him I wasn't answering any questions.
That's fine.
Okay, so then you can't turn that into okay, now it's a traffic stop. This is not a. This is not. Well, it's recorded. It's recorded. Okay, so he's
not trying to harass you. Sir.
Oh, but what? Yes, he is, and it doesn't go by what you say. It goes by what my perception is. Once I tell him what the facts are, he's to say, okay, well, he's done. He's leaving. And when I ask for a supervisor, his job is to contact that supervisor. He didn't do that. He called for another unit, which you showed up. You're not the supervisor.
Well, he just wants to make sure he's safe first. That's not
What? Well, how is it that he's trying to make sure he's safe? I'm sitting in the parked car. Okay, well, listen, you got a gun. I don't. He has a gun.
Oh,
I don't.
Have a bunch of guns.
Okay, well, I could, but do you see any?
Not right now.
Okay, then.
But I don't know.
Okay, but you know.
I hope not.
You know, so it's all good. Let me tell you something. In the course of me doing my job in the 23 years I've owned this business, I've walked into and out of properties that we're securing for the banks and having guns by police officers stuck to my head, and they were white.
Were we like that?
This guy was starting to be.
He's not like that.
I don't know him no more than you know me.
I know him.
Okay, but I don't.
I'm just telling you, he ain't like that.
Okay, well, I don't know that. You know what I mean?
Whoever called, we're just trying to ease their mind is all we're trying to do. People in this neighborhood are scared from what happened, so it doesn't surprise me that they would call something in that was suspicious to them.
Well, I'm not doubting that.
That's all.
I'm not doubting that. All right, I'm giving you that. But once this officer comes up and he knocks on my door, if I haven't broken any laws, he has zero right to question me.
He can't question you, but you don't have to answer.
He can't detain. He can say, hey, whatever. And the minute that I say I'm not answering any questions, he has to stop questioning me. He didn't read me any Miranda rights. So when I said, okay, so he doesn't have a right to question me.
He can, you just don't have to answer.
True that. I'm going to give you that as well. He can ask all the questions he wants to.
Right.
But then to turn around and say, okay, well, now give me your ID, and I tell him, this is not a stop and ID
Right,
state.
but this is just unusual. Usually people will say, no problem.
But
This is what I'm doing. And
okay, that may be what some people would do.
We're used to.
Oh, I get that. That was what I was accustomed to as well. But I don't get I don't have the right to, if someone wants to exercise their constitutional rights, I don't have the right to badger them, to harass them, to insult them. I don't have that right. Oh, yes, he did. It's recorded. It's recorded. It's everything. I'm documenting everything, this entire interaction. I'm documenting it. This is what he did. And then he went from that to me exercising my constitutional rights not to ID myself because of the fact that I don't have to. Then he says, okay, now this is a traffic stop. Give me your driver's license, registration, and proof of insurance. When the car was not in motion, it was not on. I'm just sitting here. He doesn't. I'm sorry?
Was it running?
No. But whenever I stop my car, the keys come out of the ignition and they get tossed right here on the side because that's where I leave them when I get out to go do work. He doesn't have, so that's where the crookedness comes into play.
Angry, so you don't,
I am angry.
At us, so you don't want to cooperate.
No, I'm angry at any police officer that does exactly what he did. That's what I'm angry about, because you may very well be a good police officer, but it's people like him that give police officers a bad name in any neighborhood you come to.
He's a pretty nice guy.
I don't know him.
Got frustrated with you because you guys were.
You know, so.
He means no harm.
Then have him apologize for his actions.
He probably will.
Okay, well, until he does, then this is the defensive stance that I'm going to get because of my past treatment of and dealings with law enforcement who are of the Caucasian persuasion. And this isn't anything new. It doesn't take a supervisor 15, 20 minutes to get here.
Right, but you shouldn't think all guys are like that just based on your few experiences.
No, not few experiences. I was a police officer for 5 years. I did 3.5 years with DEA Group 3 out of Detroit. I know exactly how police officers can be.
Right. Well, I've been a cop for almost 18 years. I worked in the city. Very
Hmm?
rarely have I ever seen something that I thought was inappropriate from a white officer.
Okay, well, you're not on this side of the fence.
Well, I know, but I still get
Okay.
to see what's going on.
Oh yeah, you have your own perception of things, and I have
I know.
mine.
Okay, that's fine.
Okay, so we grew up in different areas and different upbringings.
I understand.
Okay, all right, so we're good. I'm just waiting on your supervisor to get here, and then we're gonna file a formal complaint against him. And this is the evidence that I have right here.
Okay. You have to go down to the office and fill out.
Yep, I know the procedure.
You've done it before?
Absolutely.
Really?
Yep. I'm a law student at University of Michigan. I've sued 41 companies, and I've sued banks. So I don't have any problems with doing anything that dealing with litigation against anyone that
Keep
breaks
me
the
out
law.
of it, will you? I don't
No,
wanna
oh
be
no,
involved.
it's you haven't done anything that is even reaches that level. He has. We're just having a conversation, regardless
What
of
if you
how it may
apologize
be
to you,
going.
Then you be good?
Honestly, to be honest with you, no, I
Be
wouldn't.
honest.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't be good with it
He's a pretty
because
good guy.
because he may very well be a good guy, but
Everybody makes mistakes.
but he violated every policy that there was, and then tried to strong arm me by saying, now this is a traffic stop, now give me your ID. He can't run an end around the Constitution. He can't do that. Nor could I, and nor can you.
Does he have your ID?
No.
See, he didn't force nothing.
No.
He's
What?
just bluffing you.
No. A police officer has a right to lie to someone, and when knowing that, why would I want to cooperate with you or with any police officer knowing that you have a right to lie to me about stuff? You want me to be truthful, but you can
never
lie.
get nothing out of anybody. You know that. Because everybody lies. To us.
True. I
A
mean,
lot of people
you're
do.
you're right. You're absolutely right. But on this side of
Without a little trickery, it'd be hard to get things done.
true, and trust me, I've worked
So you're doing
undercover
work
as well.
with this lady here?
Yep,
She
at 2
knows you're coming?
Yep, at 2 o'clock. I've already called her and left her a voicemail letting her know that I was early. So I know this lady wasn't the one that called. Her name is Kate.
Oh, these people. See, they never saw the car. She just knew it was black. So I mean, it would be understand.
And she's not even home.
And they think it's somebody that doesn't work for her, so you could understand why somebody would call.
All of that is presumption and assumption.
Well, no, they did
But-
see. They
but-
saw the car and the person.
But here's the thing, this car has fluorescent pink lettering on the
Yeah,
side
I
of
know.
pink lettering on the side of the door. Not there's not. I mean, there's some stupid
It doesn't
criminals
hurt
in the
to call and
world.
get checked on.
That's true. And there's but here's the thing. When you walk up as a law enforcement officer, when you walk up and you want to conduct your investigation, you have to do so within what the law is. You can't step outside of the law. And when you do step outside of what the law is, now you're a bad cop. Now you're no different than any other criminal element that's out there running around today. You're just like them. And that's what he did. That's what he did. He pulled up, he ran the plate so he knows the registration is good.
Are you
He knows the
registered
insurance is
owner?
good. I'm sorry?
Are you the registered owner?
Nope.
Who is?
He already knows.
Oh.
He knows who the registered owner is. He
It's
knows.
not you.
Okay. Nope. Here's the thing, officer.
Don't you own this business?
I sure do. And this business is a Michigan corporation registered with the state.
Oh.
You
So
see.
we'll be able to figure out who you are.
Exactly. I mean, it doesn't say, I'm not. It's not my responsibility to make your job easier for you.
I know,
But
yeah.
but listen, I get a chance to exercise my constitutional rights. You know what I mean? You can't say do this and then violate my rights. I can't do this and violate your rights. I violate the law. If I violate the law, then I have to answer for that. There's consequences for that. You have to obey the law just as much as I do. So by me giving you this information, you know that I own this company. He can run this plate. It's done. It's not rocket science. It isn't. It's just a matter of him typing in something on the laptop. Within a couple seconds, he's driving off. But what he did was, okay, now this is a traffic stop. Give me your driver's license, ID, and registration. He's full of shit. I mean, excuse my language, but that's what it is. I mean,
make sure you ain't got no wants or warrants. You got a driver's license.
what he doesn't. He has zero legal right to run my name to see if there's any warrants or anything. He has no basis to
You
run
can
my name.
Anybody's name.
You're not supposed to.
Oh yeah, you can.
You're not.
You could run any plate on the street.
Oh, you can run any plate on the street, right? But you can't run anyone's name unless you suspect
Oh,
them.
we can.
Okay.
We can't run their criminal history. We
yeah.
could run their name.
Okay. So You know, I don't know what he's trying to do with my information.
Oh, nothing.
I mean, I was a victim of identity theft back in the early '90s while I lived in Germany. I came back here to a whole lot of shit that I had to get taken care of. So I don't know where that theft occurred, but it could have been someone that worked at Capital One, for example. It could have been someone going through the trash. It could have been a police officer running my name. You don't know.
Right.
You simply don't know, and you don't know someone well enough to where you can 100% vouch for them because there are married couples that have been married 20 or 30 years that a spouse has killed the other one. They thought they knew that person too.
You were a cop.
Yeah.
You're suspicious of everybody.
Absolutely, absolutely. I am, and my wife hates it. You know, it's tough being married to a former police officer and a combat vet. You know what I mean? It's I've seen a lot of things, and I've experienced a lot of things, and what I know is that if the police has a right to get my ID, I'm going to comply with what the law is. If they don't have a right to ask for my ID, I'm going to comply with what the law is. Period. It doesn't matter what it is. You know, if I'm out walking around this lady's house, you guys come up, hey, what are you doing? We got a complaint. Now that's a suspicious activity, and you can say, hey, we need.
Yeah, I thought you were working here.
At 2:00. My appointment's at 2:00. I've been sitting in my car for the past 45 minutes, sitting, waiting for this 2:00 appointment. I never got out, so there's nothing suspicious about me sitting in this car.
Right. The only thing is a black person in a black car did this to her however many months ago. So I guarantee a neighbor's probably like, you know what? I'm gonna at least call this in. I bet that's what they did.
But here's the thing. That's racial profiling, because you said the guy was wearing a mask. So, and if it was at nighttime, how do you know the person was black?
Well, she saw him because he beat her up and stuff.
But he was wearing a mask though.
Well, she could see the rest of his skin, his hands.
Well, I wasn't there. All I know is that very, very, very few times is a person that commits that type of crime gonna come back to that particular location.
I know. But
you know what I mean? So now the black car that everyone is saying that they saw doesn't have fluorescent pink lettering on the side of it announcing. You know?
Supervisor.
Okay. All right. No problem. Hey, how you doing? Thanks a lot for coming out. I'm good. I hope you don't mind me recording, but here's the thing. I've been sitting here. I got work I got to do at this lady's house. Got a 2:00 appointment.
This one here?
Yep.
Okay.
And I'd already called her, let her know I was here early, left her voicemail on her voicemail. So I'm just sitting here in my car, just relaxing.
Okay.
All right. The guys were cutting grass.
Or what?
Yeah, I was early.
Okay.
And guys were out here cutting grass. Next thing I know, this officer behind me pulls up, knocks on my window. I opened the door, identified that was former law enforcement.
Okay.
And he said, okay, we got a call for a suspicious vehicle.
Yep,
I said, okay, that's not a problem. I'm just sitting here. And he said, well, I need to see your ID. I refused. I said, you don't have any right to ask me for my ID. I said, I'm just sitting here. I'm not breaking any laws. I'm sitting in my car. And he said, well, I need to see your ID. I said, well, what law do you suspect me of breaking that where you're going to be questioning me for?
All right.
Where you're going to be questioning me for my ID? He said, so you're not going to give me your ID? I said, no, sir, I'm not. He said, okay, now this is a traffic stop. Give me your ID, license, registration, and then proof of insurance. And my car wasn't running. The keys were not in the ignition. My keys, every time I stop, I take them out of the ignition and toss them over here on the side. That's where they were. And I told him, I said, I'm not giving you my ID. I said, this is not a traffic stop. I said, the vehicle wasn't running. I said, it wasn't even on for you to try to call it a traffic stop. That's when I asked for a supervisor. And instead of him calling a supervisor out, he calls another unit out. So this guy shows up. Well, you know, a black guy broke into this lady's house and beat her up and this and this. And I said, okay, so now you're racial profiling me.
You're doing work at her house?
I have an assembly that I got to do of an executive chair at 2:00. Now I'm going to pause my video.